What is up, YouTube? Faros here, coming at you with another Final Fantasy XIV Samurai video. Hope you guys have been doing well and have been enjoying Dawn Trail as much as I have been. I've been doing work over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Faros, links in the description of the video, by the way. And we've been busting ass, working on optimizing these Savage raids that came out and getting my numbers up. I got them all dead on week 1. We cleared them all week 1, and each week I've been trying to just get as much gear as I can. I've just been raiding through the PF, but have been working on getting as much gear as I can and really trying to optimize the way I'm playing Samurai this patch 7.05. And now that I've gotten all my performance on all the rates top 5 percentile, now that I got all orange logs or better, I'm feeling pretty confident with where my skills are and coming to you guys, telling you what I think is the easiest, simplest way to play Samurai in patch 7.05 Final Fantasy XIV. So without further ado, let's get into it. Step 1. Get skill speed to tier, which, if you want to have a smooth, easy loop rotation, that's 1254 skill speed. So equip or meld skill speed to 1254, then meld crit, wherever you can after that, then meld det. And if you can't meld crit or det after you have this skill speed amount, meld direct hit. Then every odd minute burst, you do this. Every even minute burst, you do this. Okay, that's it. All right, in all seriousness, we can dig into this a little more. but if you did just do this, you'll be on your way to playing a very strong Samurai. It's a little bare bones, you know, but that will get you going. Okay, but in all seriousness, let's like dig into it on a deeper level, because I know that's what you guys want, yeah? So, first things first, I'll read this to you guys. Well, let's just backpedal. Why 1254 skill speed? Okay, so as you guys know, skill speed dictates your GCD speed when you press a button, how long until you can press the next button. Samurai is a class that, depending on your speed, will depend on how fast you build up these Sen and how fast you can Mandare. Well, at certain speeds, Samurai's rotation evens out perfectly to where it's a perfect loop, and that is the speed that I play on, which is 1254. So all the links and resources that I'm using this video, by the way, will be in the video description. But here's a little chart right here specifically for Samurais. And I don't know if you can see this that well, but it shows you your skill speed and then shows you your GCD speed with Fuka. So if you go down here, if you scroll down to get a 2.08 GCD speed, that's 1254 skill speed. And you might say, well, that's so random, like what makes 2.08 so good? Well, what makes it so good is that if you have full uptime, when you are hitting a target dummy, as you enter every minute burst, whether that's the odd minute, like the 1 minute or the 3 minute or the 5 minute mark into the fight, or even minute, like the 2 or 4 or 6 minute mark into the fight, every minute of the fight at this skill speed, you will enter that minute with 3 Sen already stocked. Perfectly stocked. You will have just built your 3rd Sen and be ready to Mandare. And that's why this skill speed is so nice and so comfy for a Samurai to play at, because you know exactly where you're supposed to be in your rotation when you enter those burst windows on every 2 minutes into the fight. So that's why I think this is one of the easiest ways to pick up a Samurai and play a pretty strong Samurai this patch, because you can easily know where you are supposed to be in your rotation. Now, some Samurais play at this, a lot of Samurais, I would say, play at this 2.14 GCD speed. But that, when you like look at an image like this that tells you how to play it, their like odd burst and even burst is not always the same. It changes. So their 1 minute is different from their 3 minute, which is different from their 5 minute, etc., etc. Because they aren't fast enough to maintain a loop. they are losing like 2 GCDs per burst interval. They'll be 2 GCDs behind their last 2-minute burst. And then the time they do another 2-minute burst, 2 minutes later, they'll be 2 GCDs more behind. Forever, and ever, they'll just, every 2 minutes, they'll get 2 GCDs behind. And that's with perfect uptime. So anyway, that's why I think this is a great place to start and familiarize yourself with the class and just pick it up and learn how to play it. So let's read this. The 2.08 rotation. This is pulled right from the pins in the balance Discord, by the way. And this is what I play. So it says, this is a perfect loop with no filler. You hit the exact same buttons every minute. You don't need to worry about any pesky NPs or Hagakures as filler. It uses a standard opener and should not drop Higanbana at any point as long as you do not make any errors. The even and odd burst can be summarized with the below at the beginning of each burst window. So it's saying on the odd burst, you will go into the odd burst with 3 Sen already built. You'll Mechio, then you'll do your Madare recast, then you'll do 1 Tendo Setsugeka. Then notice this, it splits up the Tendo Setsugekas, by the way. It doesn't just cast one and then immediately recast it on the odd burst. It casts the first one, then does a gecko that's Mechio'd, then cast the dot, then recast the Tendo, and this is for Higanbana alignment, by the way. That's on the odd burst. Then on the even burst, it's just you start with 3 Sen, you Mechio, you do your Madare recast that you had banked from, 8 GCDs prior. Then you cast the Tendo, you do a Tendo recast, then you do the Gecko, then the Higanbana, then the Namakiris, and then you have a Kasha and a Gecko that you do at the end here. So that's the odd and even right here. But you could tell they're very, very similar. I mean, this is almost identical to this, with just the even 2-minute cooldowns with the Namakiris added in at the end of it. So it's very structured, and it's just like the rotation repeats. If you're doing it well, and if you have perfect uptime, you'll know like, oh, nice, my 1 minute was the same as my 3 minute. Oh, and I'm in the 4 minute right now, and I did it exactly the same as the 2 minute. So it's a lot of like repetition and consistency that you can fall back on and know like, okay, I know I aced that because I did it just like the last time. And then that revolves again around having this 2.08 GCD speed. So this really dives into the rest of the details. So this image, again, link will be in the description, but it shows the opener. So it shows you that you can Mechio and pre-pull, like 14 seconds pre-pull. That's where I've been doing it too. First GCD Gecko, then Pot, second GCD Kasha, then Ikishoten, then Yuki, Tendo, Senai, Tendo, then Mechio again. You, of course, use 2 Mechios in your opener. Gecko, Zanshin, Bana, the Namakiris, a Shoha. Finish this Mechio with another Kasha Gecko, then manually build your Yukikaze, and then do 2 more Tendo Setsugekas. So in this potion window, you get 4 Tendo Setsugekas. And that's why they pot on first GCD. You get all this good stuff in the potion window. So this is very good. And then the cooldown phase is pretty much just build 3 Sen, Yuki, Gecko, Kasha, spend it on a Madare. You can save the recast of the Madare for the odd minute burst, but there's no raid buffs going out in the odd minute burst, so it's not super important that you do that. This is a flexible GCD that you can use anytime from here until here. You just have to use it before you cast another Madare, so you don't waste it. But anyway, build 3 Sen, spend it, then build 3 Sen again, then you're at your odd minute burst, which is the same as what we saw on this image. So it says the same thing here. And then, so how this works is, if you've never like looked at a image like this before, so you do your opener, then you do the cooldown. Then you're at your odd minute burst. After this, you do the cooldown again. Once you've done the cooldown again, then you're on the even minute burst. Then you do the cooldown again, then you're on odd minute. So that's how it works. Opener, cooldown, odd minute, cooldown, even minute, cooldown, odd minute, cooldown, even minute, cooldown, forever, until the fight ends. So that's what's real cool about this skill speed is it's very, very structured. It will always be like this as long as you have full uptime. And then it shows you pretty much what I just explained. It shows you a little graph right here illustrating that. It gives some tips at the bottom of this image. Try to pull resources for buff windows, but use Shoha and Shinten as necessary to not overcap. Iki Shoten during or before 2-minute burst, depending on your pulled Kenki for raid buffs or not. And then when under Mekio, Gecko, and Kasha are interchangeable, just don't overcap on Sen. One thing it doesn't show in this even minute burst is that, you know how, so I went over this in a previous video, but one of Samurai's like kind of fancy things is you can always recast every Madare now, but you can save a Madare recast for 30 seconds. That's why this guy on this image, Madare's here, and he can press all these buttons before doing the Madare recast. So you get an extra Madare in the even minute burst window that way. But one thing you also get is an extra Shoha, and this doesn't show that, but going into the even minute, like let's say you've just done your odd minute and now you're doing your cooldown, this Madare right here gets you a 3rd Shoha diamond. So you could spend it now, or what you should do is save the Madare recast and save the Shoha, build another 3 Sen, and then when you start your even minute burst, you can like Mekio, then press this Keishi Setsugeka, the Madare recast, Shoha right here. Then Tendo, this gives you 1 Shoha stack. Gecko Bana, this gives you a 2nd Shoha stack. Namakiri, this gives you a 3rd Shoha stack. And then right after this Kasha or Gecko, you can Shoha again. So on the even minute burst, when all the raid buffs are out, you get a Shoha here and here. So it would have been nice if this showed that, but that's another very good thing to know. So just every even minute burst, you should be saving up this Madare recast, but also saving your Shoha stacks to get 2 Shohas in each raid buff window. So that's, generally speaking, the style of Samurai I'm playing this patch, and honestly, it's what I think is the simplest way to pick up Samurai and be a strong damage dealer. I think this is the most simplest way that people will be able to pick up, even if they're not super familiar with the class. Now that being said, there's a couple more things I want to cover in this video. One is this is not the only way to play Samurai. I do want to say that, like I mentioned earlier, 2.14 is a GCD speed a lot of Samurais are playing at, and it's technically a little bit more damage. I'm gonna move in game here just so I don't AFK and get booted, because I am gonna show some gameplay in a minute. But anyway, this is technically a little bit more damage because skill speed is not a great stat for damage output specifically for Samurai. That's why you just meld skill speed or equip skill speed until you're at your tier. And then you don't do it anymore past that, because all these stats give you more damage than skill speed. You just skill speed to a certain tier that is comfortable to play at, and then you go for these stats that give you more damage. So if you can manage to play at 2.14 GCD speed, that's what? Almost 600 less skill speed. So you get more damage out of those 600 substats. So this is technically around 1% more damage than the 2.08 Samurai that I'm telling you guys about today. But so it's the people in the balance said it's 0.8% more damage if played perfectly though, and that's the catch, because it doesn't have such a structured, easy to digest way to play it. I think it's much more complicated, and so it's like 10 times the work for, like, you know, 0.01% more damage. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just wanted you guys to know about this first off. And also I wanted to cover and say, like, who might want to play 2.08 like I am, right? Like, what's the purpose of this? Well, we already covered one big purpose, and that is the simplicity of it. But the other reason you might want to play 2.08 is if you have a lot of skill speed on your gear and you want to make use of it. Like, for example, there may be samurais out there that happen to have gotten the Savage chest piece drop. I think it comes from M3S. Like, I got this week 1, and it has 374 skill speed on it. And right now, we're still early in the raid tier, so we haven't had time to get all the tombstone gear that we want or need, you know, because we're capped at 450 tombstones per week. So you're gonna take the item level upgrade that gives you more strength and such when you can get it, because that's gonna increase your damage output. So like, of course I equipped this body because it has, I mean, who knows how much more strength than the 710 body I was wearing, but it's got 374 skill speed. So that amount of skill speed right there, like, disqualifies me from playing 2.14. I think if I had 0 other skill speed through melds or gear besides this piece, the slowest I could be is like 2.13. But I can't even get to 2.14. So if you've gotten item level upgrades that have skill speed on them, that is going to be a personal DPS increase for you right now, even though it's not ideal, right? But if you just have it and you want to use it because it's going to be more damage, then that might be another very good reason for you to just bump up your skill speed until you get to over 1254 and play the 2.08 samurai. So I would say those are the 2 main reasons to play this style. 1, if it's more comfortable or simple or easy to understand for you, or if you just prefer the structured loop. That's 1 reason. Or 2, if you've got a lot of skill speed on your gear and you just want to make use of it, then go ahead and bump yourself to 1254. And yeah, it's a smooth rotation at that, and then you're making use out of the skill speed gear that you got. So that's how to play it. That's why to play it. And now I want to dig into a couple of the finer details and then give you guys a quick demo. A couple things that are not covered in these infographics. 1, we talked about the Shoha. 2, I want to show you guys an example of how to adjust this opener. Because what this opener does not show is it does not show third eye usage, and it does not show feint usage. And I think this is something that's, I think it's pretty important. These are skills we have that, and one of them we can get extra damage out of, and the other, feint, we can help our team mitigate stuff with. So both are important to know how to use, in my opinion, so I want to cover them. So firstly, you see here, there are some gaps where they're not weaving anything, where you can easily add feint or third eye. And there's some GCDs that there's some weaves here that don't 100% have to be on that button. Like, your Iki Shoten can be after Yuki instead of after Kasha, and it's at pretty much no cost to you. You make sure you potion on the first GCD though, do not move that. But this other stuff can wiggle around. So what I was doing, here's a VOD of me doing M4S. And I just wanna, let's just play this at like half speed and go through this. So you're gonna see I factor feint and third eye into this rotation. So first GCD was the gecko, and then the potion got used. Second GCD, I Iki Shoten and I Gyoten double weave. Your Gyoten is your gap closer charge. And you might be like, why'd you do that? Well, I know that I'm gonna third eye later in this opener. And when you third eye, you get an extra 10 Kenki. So instead of doing 1 Gyoten like this opener does, I need to know that I'm gonna want to do 2, and I need to do the first one way earlier because it's got a 10-second cooldown. So it's not like I can go Gyoten. I have to, if I want a Gyoten by here, by the time this potion runs out or by the time raid buffs run out, I need to have another one 10 seconds earlier. So I just double weaved it with Iki Shoten and did it on the second GCD because I know I'm gonna third eye this first raid-wide AoE. Okay, so then I Yuki, and then I feint right there. I feint on that GCD because I know that the raid-wide AoE's coming up, and I want to get value out of my feint too and just help my party be as comfy as possible. So I Tendo here, Senai, Tendo again. Here comes this Wrath of Zeus, raid AoE, Akasha, third eye on that GCD. Then I Bana and Zanshin. Now watch, I'm at 10 Kenki right now, but this third eye's about to proc. As I'm casting Namakiri, I go to 20 Kenki. Recast the Namakiri, use the Shoha. And then we're finishing off our Mekio here. I Kasha, and then I Gap Closer it again right there. Gecko. Use a Shinten there. And then check this out. I love this opener so much. It's beautiful, man. Then I finish this Yuki. Shinten again. As the raid buffs are ending, I just press Shinten. I go to 0 Kenki. I get full usage out of my Kenki. All of it was used in the raid buff window. And then both these Tendos go off as the potion's falling off. So, in my opinion, this is a perfect opener that utilizes Third Eye and Feint to get extra, and 2 Gyotens, 2 charges, to get extra Kenki in the opener, and also min-max your Kenki expenditure that uses every single point of it with 0 overlap in the raid buff and in the potion window. So this is a way to optimize your guys' opener. I just wanted to show you, and it's something that these little graphics don't really show because, I mean, it is, you know, it's not the end of the world. They're optimizations at the end of the day. You can play a strong samurai without the stuff I just showed you, but here at the end of the video, I'm trying to teach you guys little ways to take it to the next level. So I hope that helps. So that's how to optimize the opener. And then lastly, I want to show you how to repair the rotation. Because let's be honest, everything I've covered so far in this video is like perfect world stuff, right? This is in periods of full uptime. It's what to do on a target dummy pretty much. Well, besides the opener. That's like a practical thing. But I want to show you another practical thing. So how to repair the rotation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hit the dummy here. And I'm gonna add in some downtime. So I think here at the end of the video, I'll probably do like 3 minutes on the target dummy. And the first minute, I'll do normal. I'll do the first odd minute burst, normal. I'll do the first even minute burst, normal. And then, after the first even, going into the next odd, I'm gonna make myself have 3 GCDs of downtime. 3 NPs. I'm just gonna pretend I have to run away from the boss, and I can't go back for 3 GCDs. So I'm gonna just run around out here, NP, NP, NP. Because that kind of shit happens a lot, right? In Savage or in Ultimates, apparently. And then some samurais are like, man, but my loop is fucked up now. So what's the point of playing loop if it just gets fucked up anyway? Well, I want to show you how to fix that. So in our example, what's gonna happen is this. Remember how I told you that it's like in this little image, I told you that every odd or even minute burst, you go in with 3 Sen banked. So you just start with your Mekio and then do the recast, and then you're just ready to Tendo right after that because you already have 3 Sen. Well, if a mechanic pushes you away from the boss for 3 GCDs, then you know, I mean, your Gecko and Kasha combo are 3 GCDs. So what you can do is, then you'll know going into where you would normally start bursting, you'll be 3 GCDs behind, which means you will have a Yuki Sen and either a Gecko or a Kasha Sen, but not both, because you're -3, right? 1, 2, 3. So you'll start this with 2 Sen. Either a Yuki or a Gecko or a Kasha, and then you'll Mekio, and the first GCD of your burst will be that 3-hit combo that you didn't get due to downtime. And then your rotation will loop from there. So what's gonna happen is, after I do a normal odd and a normal even, on this odd, the third minute of the fight, it's gonna start with Mekio, then Gecko, then recast, then Tendo, then Gecko, then Bana, then Tendo recast, then Kasha. And then it'll end here. And for the rest of the time I would hit the dummy, it would loop like that. So that's another benefit of playing Loop Samurai, is when you make an adjustment due to downtime, it will loop based off the adjustment you made smoothly for the rest of the fight. So this might make more sense when you see it. So let's just get down to it. So we'll do a little live opener here. And I'll food and pot. I'm not going to use a grade 2, but I'll just use a grade 1. So let's do a countdown 15. And then after a couple seconds after I hit this, I'll Mechio pre-pull. I'm going to sprint around 5 seconds. I'm going to true north around 2 seconds. First GCD pot. Second GCD Iki Shoten. Build the juice. Get the Senai in there. I'll cast my Gyota there. Dots up. Namakiris are recasted. Now we're gonna have perfect expenditure. Kenki expenditure here. Everything was used in raid buffs. The Tendos go out before the potion falls off, and there's our opener. So then I'm gonna build 3 Sen and spend them. And it says you can save your recast here, but you don't have to on the 1 minute. You can just save it because it's got more range. You can use it when you get pushed out, or you can just use it, double cast it right there like I did, because you're not getting any extra damage on the 1 minute. Okay, then we're going into the 1 minute burst here soon. When I finish this third Sen, the 1 minute is starting. We'll Senai, then we're gonna Gecko and Shoha, cast our dot now. Look at the dot alignment there. It went back up right as it had dropped. And we do that. Remember how I said you did that Gecko and do the dot in between the Tendo recast instead of doing back-to-back Tendos? It was for that dot alignment. And then you're gonna see on the 2 minute, the dot alignment is pretty much perfect when we don't do that. So that's the one thing you have to do differently on the even and odd minute. And it's just for Higanbana alignment. If you watch this little timer, it'll make sense. So now, since we're going into a 2 minute, I'm gonna save this Shoha, and I'm saving this Madare recast. So check it out. You'll know when this 2 minutes is about to start, because we just unleashed everything. So check this out. So there's the recast, the Shoha. Tendo, Zanshin, Tendo, Senai. Look at this Bana refresh, pretty much perfect. Then here's our second Shoha. This is gonna be almost perfect Kenki expenditure. 5 remaining. Do the recast and that's it. Okay, so there's the opener, the even, and the odd minute burst, right? Or the opener, the odd, and then the even minute burst. So now let's introduce some downtime. Oh shit, mechanic! We backstep, 1 NP, 2 NP, 3 NP. Okay, that's simulated downtime, yeah? So now, I'm just gonna do both these recasts. But now I know that I'm 3 GCDs behind, because I was out here doing NP X3. So look, my dot's about to fall. What am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna start at 2 Sen, Mechio here, build the 3rd Sen Senai, Tendo, Shoha, oh, but you know what I should have done? I should have built that Gecko and applied the dot in between the Tendo recasts. That's the one thing I did wrong there. But everything else was right. So my dot fell for a couple ticks there. I hate it when I record a video live and I do one thing that's not perfect. but you know what I mean. I should have just done it like the infographic showed on the odd minute. Either way, we'll get back on track here with the next even minute. And it's gonna be the same here. So I'm gonna save this Shoha, I'm gonna save the Madare recast. And I'm gonna start my 2 minute burst with 2 Sen. I'm gonna Mechio after I build the 2nd Sen. Check this out. Here we go. Shoha, Madare recast Zanshin, Tendo, Senai, Tendo. Reapply the Bana. Boom. Perfecto. Namakiris. The Shoha. And then we just go from there. And we just loop off that. Let me reset these enmities. So I just wanted to give you guys, again, I always like to show you, instead of just showing you the images, I like to show you how it looks in game 2. The opener, the odd minute burst, the even minute burst, then even show you some simulated downtime and how the rotation will still keep looping smooth from there because we are at the 2.08 GCD speed. And we just get a fixed amount of GCDs per minute that happen to loop perfectly. So I think that this is the easiest way to pick up and play Samurai because you can more easily know what your optimal rotation and bursts should look like depending on the fight, even if you get downtime. That's why I think it's easy to pick up and play a strong Samurai, because you know what you're supposed to be doing. The 2.14 is very good. It's very strong. In fact, it's a little stronger than this. But it's harder for new Samurai players to understand exactly what optimal looks like when they're in the heat of the moment in the middle of a fight. Now, I will be covering adhoc Samurai, and matter of fact, now that I've gotten to like top 5% on all the fights with loop, I think next week I'm going to be purchasing my Tombstone body. And I'm going to be going back to like more adhoc style 2.14 and trying to push all these to top 1% performance to 99s. So if you want to see that, again, make sure you come by the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Faros. Link will be in the description below. And you guys can join me on our road to 99s. That being said, though, my dudes, I hope this video helped. If you have any questions about the video... Oh, wait. There was one last thing I wanted to tell you, just as a final parting gift here. I was digging into this rotation even deeper today, and another thing that this kind of image doesn't show is that, okay, so if you just want to play a strong Samurai, kind of basic bare bones, you can literally just do this and you'll do some good damage. But you'll notice that because Mechio is a 55-second cooldown, the longer you go in the fight, you're gonna notice, especially with your pre-pull Mechio, that you get 2 charges of this and you will sit momentarily at 2 charges. Okay? And you might be like, oh, I'm wasting this. Like, what am I doing? Am I supposed to use this? Well, the answer is this. If you're just trying to play a basic Sam, you can literally just do this and you're fine. Just at the end of the fight, when you're killing the boss, you can use the extra charge. But if you want to optimize it, here's what you would do. If you want to be optimal, you would do opener, cooldown, odd minute, 1 minute. Even minute, 2 minute, odd minute, 3 minute, even minute, 4 minute, odd minute, 5 minute, and then on the 6th minute of the fight, on that even minute burst, you would pretty much redo this opener, and you would use 2 Mechios and another pot. And that's a moment in the fight where all the raid buffs are out, your strength potion is back off cooldown and ready to be used, and you can fit another 4 Tendo Setsugekas in the strength potion if you use both Mechios. And that's another thing this image doesn't show. That's at the 6-minute mark of the fight. If you do that, it's gonna throw off the loop, and the 7-minute is not gonna look like this because you used extra combo finishers from an extra Mechio. Okay? So if you just do this forever, it's going to be a cleaner loop, but you're not optimizing your second charge of Mechio from the 6-minute mark. If you do what I just explained, it's going to be more damage, but it's not going to be this clean of a loop starting on the 7-minute. Really what will happen is instead of starting your odd minute burst and even minute thereafter, instead of starting it with 3 sen, you can start it with like 1 sen. Like, you'll go into the odd minute, the 7-minute mark, you'll have a Yukikaze built. You can Mechio, Kasha, Gecko, do the Madari recast if you save that, then Tendo, then Gecko, Bana, then Tendo recast, and then it ends. And instead of this Kasha Gecko being at the end of this, it's at the beginning of it. Okay? And that's because at the 6th minute, you double Mechioed. So that's my final parting gift to you. That's another way to sort of think about how to optimize the 6-minute second potion window and how to correct the rotation from there. And if you guys have any questions about this stuff, or if you want to actually see it on video, or if you want like videos dedicated to that, let me know in the comments below. Whatever way I can best help you, I want to do. It's just my videos always drag kind of long to begin with. So, you know, I try to just have the most bang for my buck time usage in my videos and then move on. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I hope this helps you samurai players get started in a way where you can feel confident knowing you're playing the job at a strong level. So, and again, I got to this level of performance just playing Loop Samurai. So if I can do it, you can do it. All right, that's all I got for you guys right now. I hope to see ya over on the stream, and if there's ever anything you want to see on the YouTube, let me know. Till next time, I appreciate you. Take care, everyone. I'm out for now. Bye.